Well, it's late afternoon, like late, almost 6 o'clock. What I decided to do, since I've had some awfully kind uh, neighbors that have been sending me things for Mother's Day. I got these beautiful flowers from a friend, Marcia, roses. Another friend came over and shared a recipe with me today. Another friend, Paul, other friends have sent text messages. So what I thought I would do is bring you with me on a Danish making journey, but it takes quite a while to do. But I have to do it tonight, or I can't do it at all, because it takes at least overnight in the refrigerator to ferment. So what we're going to do is I'm going to show you. I have yet to do that step by step. Each item that I use is sort of pre-measuring when you come on board and start this Danish. I forgot one thing. The most important thing, actually, this Danish journey, and it includes vanilla pudding and pie filling and stuff. And this was a recipe that I found from one of the named bakers for their Danishes that they've used pudding and pie filling in their doughs. And I've been doing it for years. It's just a half of a 3.5 ounce pack. So, that being said, I'm going to measure out four cups of all-purpose flour. This happens to be gold medal. It was on sale at Amazon, so I went ahead and got it. Usually, my favorite go-to is King Arthur. Okay, so this is a little about 4 cups, because this is a 4.5 cup. So what I'm going to do with that, I always put all my dry in this container, in this little cup here. I'm going to take 1.5 teaspoons of salt. This is kosher salt. Okay, salt's so important in doughs and bread doughs. It's almost undigestible without it. Now, since this is going to be a sweet dough, well, I can probably measure that out. This is going to be 3 tablespoons of sugar. 1, 2, and this is a yeast dough, so I'm just using commercial yeast with this. And I've used sourdough with it before, and it works out fine. And we're going to use 1 tablespoon. I bought yeast by the gallons, really. So, actually, I don't, it's a pound. I keep it in the refrigerator. A tablespoon of commercial yeast. Tap this side. And what I'm going to do right now, this is egg yolks that I had saved from, I made pudding yesterday, and I used the egg yolks in the pudding. This is the egg whites. So there's 3 in here. I'm going to put this in the container. So get rid of that. And then we're going to put 2 tablespoons of butter in the container. And this is my sunflower oil. I'm going to put 2 sunflower oil in here. It just makes the dough so soft with both sunflower oil as well as the butter. When you're doing a Danish, you want that dough to be really, really soft. So we did the salt, we did the sugar, we did the yeast, we did the egg whites, and we did the butter and the sunflower oil. So we're good. And this is buttermilk, and it's about a cup and a quarter. I warmed it in the microwave for a minute, 20 seconds. I'll put that in there. Okay, the very last thing I'm going to do, I'm going to put a vanilla pie vanilla pudding And it's there, instant. And that's half, sorry about my ponytail, it keeps going around. That's half of a 3.5 ounce container. Okay, so got all our goodies here. We're going to stir this up a little bit. And then put this in a container. Mix it up a little bit. Just to get it just to get it started. That's all you're doing. You don't have to do this. But you know, this is just so easy. It's just measure and you know, put in the container. Then we're going to put it in the bread machine, because that's the way I do my doughs. Because as people that have known me and that have subscribed know that I have issues with my arms. I can't use pressure with them. So there we go with that. So that's basically it. That'll get us started tonight. When that's finished, I'll come back and show you what we're going to do with it once it's finished kneading in the bread machine. And I'll walk you through this little journey. Because once it's finished kneading, we're going to just put it in a container and put it in the refrigerator. And then in the morning, we will go ahead and shape it into it, because it's going to be cherry Danish. Cherry-filled Danish with cherries on top. So it's going to be a cute Danish, and it's very easy to do. So until then. Okay, well, our dough is risen and is popping out the top. So let me get it. Let me see it. Took an hour and 15 minutes. Once we mixed it, put it in here, and you can see how soft it is, unlike the other doughs that we've worked with. See how soft it is? It's like a marshmallow. Put this down a little bit so you can see it. There we go. See that? So we're just going to take it out. This is if you're serious about doing any kind of doughs, invest in just a very cheap little plastic container that you can put a little bonnet on or a top so that you can put it in the refrigerator. So we're going to take it out, put it in our container. Come on down. It's sticky. This is well hydrated, they call it, when it's sticky and wet. That's what makes a good Danish. There we go. Being attacked by my dough. There you go. Now I'm going to wet my fingers because I'll show you something. Pretty important to do this, especially if you're going to keep it in the refrigerator overnight. You want to fold it over like this to give it some tension. You see that? So I put that back down. Let's see if you can see that better like that. There we go. It's going to fold it in on itself. Then we're going to put a little bonnet on it. Oh, here it is. These things are amazing. Let me show you what you get. I get a big old bag like this, and they're packed in there really tight. There's green, yellow, and pink. It's 3 different sizes. I use them for absolutely everything. No saran wrap. And you can reuse them as well. So this is going to go in the refrigerator like this overnight until in the morning. In the morning, we're going to bring it, and it's going to rise up. But in the morning, we're going to bring it out, we're going to shape it, and get ready to bake it off. And it's going to be amazing. You're going to love it. So, with that being said, I'll see you in the morning. Well, good morning, and welcome to my kitchen. Well, it's almost not morning, it's almost noon. I meant to start this dough earlier. However, I didn't have internet. Here we go again. I did call them. I lost internet all weekend. Yesterday we lost it. Today we lost it, Friday we lost it, so it's just been a mess. And you hear Sparkles in the background. You might be able to see her. So, let me show you where we are with the strudel. It's not going to be a cherry Danish like I wanted to. The cherries, when I took them out, I had them in a freezer. When I took them out of the freezer and went to put them, pick them and put them on the stove, they were so mushy, and even a couple of them looked not molded, but going that way, and I just didn't feel like showing them or even using them. So we're switching to apple strudel with craisins. So I'm sorry about that. We'll do the cherry Danish another day. So I've got my recipe here. So what I'm going to tell you is, they're calling for puff pastry. We're doing the dough, like the Danish dough, like I made last night. Now in here is 4 cups of diced apples, a cup of craisins, a quarter of a cup of apple juice, because we're going to put this on the stove and let that soften up and cook and melt together. And here is a quarter cup of brown sugar and a quarter cup of white sugar and 2 teaspoons of cinnamon. That's it. I'm going to put this on the stove now. We're going to start working with our dough. So this doesn't have to cook all the way down, but it has to cook down enough for the apples to be softened. I feel more comfortable with them being par cooked than not going into the oven for fear that they're not going to be done enough when the dough's done. And also toward the end of their cooking, here's a slurry of apple juice again, a bottle of apple juice and cornstarch to thicken this up as a thickener. So I'm going to put this on the stove, medium high for right now, and then we're going to start working with our dough. Now, with this, it also calls for apple sauce to be added to that. Last time I did an apple strudel and I used apple sauce, it really tended to make the dough, as it was baking, too soggy on the bottom. So I'm opting not to use that. These are not Granny Smith apples. They're like very delicious. And the raisins are craisins and not raisins. So bear with me here. I can only use what I've got. So the oven is set on 375, and I have a lined baking sheet with aluminum foil as well as parchment paper, and it's heavily sprayed because with all this sugar and fruit, when it bakes, it's going to ooze out and it will stick. So let's start working with this dough. Now, like I said last night, this dough is very, very soft. You have to work with it a little bit. And it did rise. See how much it rose during the night? It's been in the refrigerator since last evening. It's been in there since almost 18 hours. Let me put this in the sink. So here we go. What you doing, Sparkles? Do you want to get up on the couch? Here, come here. I'm gonna put Sparkles on the settee. Come here, Sparkles. Come here. Here. You want to get up here? Look out the window. Here we go. Look out the window. She's such a darling little thing. So there we go. I'm gonna get rid of my little plastic bucket. I don't know what I would do without that little plastic $2 bowl. I use it for all of my dough. And you're going to work this in just a little bit. Feels like it's a good dough. Dough has a tendency, once it's been in the refrigerator overnight, it's so much easier to work with. It tends not to be so sticky. Now this is a sticky dough to begin with, but you can work with it a lot easier, it being cold. And I just may when we go to form it on the baking sheet. If it tends to be too warm, we may stick it right back in the refrigerator. So we want to get this rolled out. I have to do it like this. Let me just pound it out because we want like a rectangle here. Because we're going to not necessarily braid it, but we're going to cross it over just like you see a strudel. Yeah, this is nice dough. Don't forget, in this dough, we have already a half of a 3-ounce box of instant vanilla pudding. It gives it enough sweetness in the dough that you don't need a lot of sugar on the outside. However, we're going to gild this, Lily. Wait and see. So as the apples cook down, that juice that is going to be in the left is going to caramelize. And we're going to take that and we're going to brush that on the finished strudel. And this also calls for nuts. You can put pecans, walnuts, what do they call for? Actually, they do call for pecans. But you can do pecans, walnuts, cashews, any nut, that's your choice. My family is not big into nuts, especially my daughter. She's never really liked that type of add in her anything. She just doesn't like nuts in general, so I've been in the habit not to add it. And so in some situations I have, especially around Christmas. Okay, we're getting there, guys. I just got to get this into some sort of a rectangle shape. You'll see why in a minute. I'm going to put it on my board to cut it. But it really is a beautiful dough. Very easy to work with. Now when I roll this out, I roll it out with my left hand and use my right to guide, since this is my bad arm. I just don't have an elbow to put pressure on anything. But I can use my hand to guide. There we go, we're getting it, see? So let's stretch this out. Just see how stretchy it is? It's going to be a pretty dough. Now you do not have to use this dough. You can use phyllo dough. You can buy dough. The choice is yours. But this is just so easy, especially in the bread machine. You just can't, it can't be easier. It's just, weigh it out and turn the bread machine on. There's no kneading, no nothing in this recipe. So get in the habit of doing that. I mean, if you like doing stuff like this, it's very creative. It's a lot of fun. Okay, we're getting there. Look, see? What is it? Oh, you see a kitty cat. You see a kitty cat out there, Sparkles? Sparkles wasn't feeling too good the other day, and we ended up taking her to the vet. She's doing fine now, though. There we go. Let me check my apples, okay? Let me get this stirred. I'll turn them down a little bit. It smells wonderful. Okay, I'm back. There we go. See your little rectangle now? Now I'm going to take and cut this because I want it to fit exactly. This is enough for 2, by the way. And we're only going to make 1. And I'll take the leftover dough and put it in a bag and threw it back in the refrigerator. And we can use it for something else. That's the beauty of these doughs. You don't have to use them right away. Let me get that out just a little bit more because I want it as thin as I can get it. You don't want a real thick dough with these danishes, or with these noodles. And this silk hat mat is wonderful. What is it? My goodness. Okay, let me get my pizza cutter and we'll go ahead and cut this. Also, try to invest in a pizza cutter. I use it all the time for my baked goods. Okay, so we're going to take this and square it off, just like so. Square it off here, just like so. Take this and save this. Nothing wrong with this. Put this in a bag, put it in the refrigerator. What do you see? There we go. You're going to end up, this is perfect now, you're going to end up just like you would pie dough, about that thickness, maybe just a tad bit more. You'll get the feel of this once you do it one time. I'm going to roll this up on our rolling pin, and then we're going to put it on our board, just like so. Hoping it doesn't stick. That's all right. Just take your scraper. And the pan down. Like I said, make sure you put your oil. Oil that's really good. Or spray it really good, either way. If you're going to put an oil on here, make sure it's a non-flavored oil. You don't want to use olive oil. Use like a sunflower or a canola. Okay. Let me check our apples. I may stick this back in the refrigerator. It's a little warm. And they're coming along just fine. So what I'm going to do in the meantime, I'm going to put this in the refrigerator for about 5 minutes. That's about how long it's going to take for the apples to soften up, and then I'll bring you back. Alrighty? Okay, just to show you, I took the apples and craisins with cinnamon, butter, and apple juice. They had cooked down, and I drained what's going to become our glaze from them, and it's in this container here. So that's going to be the last thing we'll put on this. But this is still fairly warm, and I don't want to put a warm fruit on a cold dough. It'll just make a mess. We're going to stick this in the freezer. The dough is in the refrigerator right now, but I've got our crushed graham crackers that go on the bottom of the dough before this. And then we've got our crumble topping for the top and an egg wash. So, give me 5 minutes and we'll be right back. Alrighty. Alright, I think everything's ready to go now. I'm going to get the dough out of the refrigerator, and our filling should be cool enough now because I stuck it in the freezer. Oh yeah, it's fine. Now that's supposed to be cherries. Not turning apples. Okay, and here's our dough. See how it's puffed up a little bit? We don't want it to get too puffy until it gets into the oven. So, how we're going to do this, excuse me, we're going to, let me get a spatula. So we're going to take our filling, I'm going to put it right down the middle of this. It's a nice thick consistency, so we should be in good shape as it bakes. Right in the middle. You don't want to overfill, just make a mess. This is about right, so that recipe was right on filling wise. I took about 4 medium to large size apples. Put this in the sink. And something to rub my hands off. Okay, so what we're going to do, this is the graham crackers. I'm going to sprinkle this on top. I should have sprinkled it underneath as well, but I didn't. And that's to keep it from bleeding out so bad. We'll do it on the side. As it bakes, you don't want it to run, and that with the graham crackers actually helps that. Okay, there it is. Now, we're going to take and make little cuts on the side, like so, because we're gonna wrap these around. It's gonna be really, really pretty. So, watch that. Do the same over on this side. You can probably do a better job than me making these even. Just like so. I like them a little bit on the thicker side, making them wider because they don't tear as easily. Okay, so right here, what we're going to do, we're going to take this one off and this one off, like so. Because we want to close the end up. We don't need these two. So let's get rid of those. And we're going to do the same at the bottom. Right here. I'm sure you can do a better job than me with that. We add that to our little bag in the refrigerator. So you want to take this piece right here. You're going to fold it up like so. Both ends. And then let me get my knife. Didn't go all the way through. We're going to take this and bring it over like so. See, like that. Every other one. It's like a lattice top pie. See, isn't that pretty? Didn't come all the way through. I'm sorry about that. Bring that over. Scissors, actually. A better job, huh? There we go. See? That's pretty. you go. See? This makes it a really, really pretty presentation. Great for Mother's Day, huh? Once you do a few of these like this, you kind of get spoiled almost because you become creative and you want to do more. That's how I started. I just started playing around with different designs and different recipes, and then you just kind of make them yours. I'm going to bring this one in too because I have more on this side than I do on this side. I told you my evenness wasn't there. And see how this is closed up now? I'm going to make two out of this one. Bring it like that. Bring this one over like this. Tuck him in. Then we're going to tuck him in like so. And bring him over. There you go. It's just crisscross all the way around. There you go. Now this is a step you cannot not do, the egg wash. Just brushing your egg wash on there. Brush your egg wash. This is one egg. It's an egg with about a teaspoon of water. But you must do this. It serves two purposes actually. It acts as a glue for your little end pieces here, your crisscrosses, and it also puts a beautiful shine as well as holding our crumb topping. See, that one wants to pop up. Hopefully that egg wash will keep it in place. You never know. I'm having high hopes for this, so let's hope it turns out really good. So let's make sure they're tucked in there. And now we're going to take our crumb topping. Now this is that same crumb topping that I use on everything that I make extra of. I'm just going to put a little bit on top, not much, because we still have to put the glaze on after it comes out of the oven. But for right now, we're going to let this rise because it is a yeast dough. It's not a phyllo dough. So we're going to let this rise for about 10-15 minutes. We don't want it to get too big or it will really get big. But let's give it a little time to rest. And I'm going to put it on the oven. I've got my oven heating right now at 375, and we're going to bake it for about 20 minutes to 25, depending on how much it browns, because everything's done but the dough, but we want that nice and golden brown. So in the meantime, let's go ahead and put this on top of the oven, and I'll cover it with some saran wrap. Let me show this to you a little bit better. So this is what it looks like, and it's set at 375. Okay. So I'm going to cover it with a saran wrap. Wait a few minutes just to eyeball it. I'm saying 10-15 minutes. It may not even take that long, and I'll bring it back. Okay, I think we're ready to go in the oven. I want to show this to you though prior. Let's see, can you see that? Let me take this cover off. Saran wrap. That's how much it rose. It's going to be beautiful. It's going to be twice that big in the oven. So, it's very humid here. It's getting ready to rain. I took the dogs out, and I came in. I just saw myself. I look like a tumbleweed. My hair is like poof. So forgive me. So anyway, this goes in the oven, and I did not put my water in there this time. So let's see how it turns out. Alexa, set timer for 20 minutes. So we're gonna set the timer for 20 minutes and start checking it at that point. I'll probably look at it even prior to that because any kind of dough that has a lot of fruit or sugar or toppings on it will tend to brown a lot quicker than just plain bread doughs. So just keep an eye on it. Know your oven. So when that gets done, we'll bring you back and we'll try this. Happy Mother's Day. Okay, I want you to see the strudel 11 minutes in as I cook the camera. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? So what I'm going to do at this point in time is I'm going to tint it with aluminum foil. Okay, I just checked our apple strudel and it looks like it's done. It's still in the oven though with aluminum foil tinting it. So we're going to take that out so you can see what it looks like. Look out, sparkles. There we go. You see that all right? Yeah. Okay, so let's take our aluminum foil. Whoa! And I think we have strudel. Strudel. It's a beautiful strudel. This would really look good with some flake sugar on top. Isn't that beautiful? So what we don't want to do with this, I'm gonna put this down just a little bit so you get a better view of it. What we don't want to do, well then you can't see me. Okay, what we don't want to do with this is move it because it's still baking. And I can't even take it off right now to put it on a cooling rack. So I'm going to leave it, just like you do some cakes, some pies, you want to leave it, especially quick breads, you want to leave it just as it is for at least 10 minutes so it can set up. But there's a few steps that we want to make. The sauce that we created, the glaze from the apple filling when we cooked it on the stovetop, this is really nice and thick. Look at this. And that's all just apples, cinnamon, a tad bit of lemon juice in there, and that quarter cup of apple juice that we cooked. That's what this is. So we're going to top our strudel with this while it's still hot because we want that to absorb into the crust here to give it a nice sweet apple flavor. And don't forget on here as well, we've got that little bit of crumb topping, which is going to give it a little bit of a chew. Let me get over here like that so you can see the strudel and not me, huh? This is smelling unbelievable. And just enough of our glaze to go on here as well. Don't be afraid to put it on there. It's not going to hurt it. You don't want to drown it, of course, but this will give it a nice, soft texture. So, we're going to let that set up. And then we're going to take this lily and we're going to gild it like crazy. I had made, remember a coffee cake? I made extra glaze for that, you know, the topping, out of 10x sugar and milk. So I've got that. I took it out of the refrigerator. So it's always good when you're doing stuff like this to make extra. You keep it in the refrigerator for weeks. It's not going to go bad on you. Well, I mean, it will eventually, but for when things like this, you just take it out. You know, it's not stop and go, mix this and make that. It makes baking a lot more fun. So when this totally cools down to room temperature, well, right before that, I'm going to take this, and then we're going to drizzle it on top, and then we're going to cut it. So until that happens, I want to say, come back to my kitchen when this is done and have a piece of strudel. Okay, well, happy Mother's Day. Today is Mother's Day. I did want to share with you what my daughter Gwen and son-in-law Eric had got for me for Mother's Day. And it's in the living room hanging on the wall, of course. You know me and my artwork. So hold on a minute. Let me turn you around, okay? Okay, just look at this. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? It's cross stitch. It's just beautiful. Let me come back a ways. I think they know my love for elephants. And then she also, let me walk in here, got me a candle holder that you will not believe. And yes, it's an elephant. Isn't he adorable? The candle, a little candle light goes. You open up the back and set that on the inside. So thank you, Gwen. It's so much appreciated. I know, what do you say? Well, we're back, and our strudel, while not at room temperature, is still warm, but I think it's sufficiently cooled enough that we can gild our little lily with our glaze, and we're going to cut it. So fingers crossed everything comes out okay, right? So this is all I'm going to do. We're going to take this 10x sugar. This is about a cup of 10x sugar to, I want to say 2 tablespoons of milk. And that's pretty much it. I do believe I put orange extract in this. You can put any extract you want in this. Apple extract, vanilla extract, coconut extract, whatever. So, all we're going to do is like so. Can you see that? Put as much or as little as you want. And with it still being slightly warm, it's going to melt into the dough. So you can hold on until it gets cool, cooler, and put it on again, and it will, it'll at least show on the dough. Okay, so let's cut into this. Oh yeah, it cuts nice. Oh, it's beautiful. And it is hot still on the inside, so it may run a little bit. So we'll see. What is this, sparkles? Yeah. Isn't that beautiful? Oh, this is gorgeous, guys. Look. Yeah, I know you're hungry, honey. I'll feed you. And here we go. So, I'm going to take a piece here, and I'm going to taste it. Without getting out all the plates and goodies. Andy's hungry, and I need to feed these dogs. That is good. It really would have been good with the cherries, but you know, we'll try that again for another day. Okay, there you have it. Apple strudel our way. So, thanks for visiting me in my kitchen today, and I hope that you can find it in your heart to like and subscribe to my channel to help it grow. I'm new on here, and a lot of my subscribers are new as well. So, I'll see you again with another recipe. Bye-bye. Alright, so let's do a little recap for today on this Mother's Day of 2024. A beautiful Sunday that was supposed to rain, but it didn't, which is fine, but we do need the rain. We always need rain. So we had started out making cherry danishes today. I actually did the dough last night. It went into the refrigerator, and it stayed in the refrigerator until 12 o'clock, close to 12 o'clock today, which was, give or take, 18 hours. However, the cherries that I had were in a bag, and I had them in the freezer. When I took them out, they did not look good at all, and I didn't want to go through the whole process of simmering them on the stove and doing all of that when they weren't going to come out. I was afraid that they weren't going to taste very well either. So I turned, and that's the beauty of this dough. You can do anything with it at any given time. So I had some apples, I had some craisins, so I thought, let's do an apple strudel, which we did. And as you can tell, it turned out phenomenal. It's a big apple strudel, but it was enough for two. However, I made one. It will be cut, and it will be cut in slices, which I'll put in individual baggies and just put in the freezer. That way, when I have company, or we want a quick breakfast, or just something to snack on in the afternoon, just take it out of the freezer. You can either bring it to room temperature on the counter, stick it in the microwave for 30 seconds, and you have apple strudel. What you doing, Andy? That apple strudel, just to, I know, baby. Just to let you know, I did 4 apples. This called for 3 large. I had a little less than large, and it was 4, and it was about 4 cups, a little less. And I had craisins. I did not put any nuts in it. And instead of the all-purpose flour to thicken it, I used a slurry with cornstarch. I just like cornstarch better than flour. You don't have that floury aftertaste. And then, of course, a 1/4 cup of brown sugar, 1/4 cup of white sugar. And then we used, for the topping, we used some crumble that I had made in a prior video, which consists of 1 cup of all-purpose flour, 1/2 cup of brown sugar, 1/2 cup of white sugar, and 1/2 cup of chilled butter, and cinnamon if you so choose. And you just crumble that up and put it on any application you choose to. So that's pretty much it for today. I want to wish you again Happy Mother's Day. Take care of yourself, your friends, your family, and your loved ones. And please, check on your neighbors, for you never know what goes on behind closed doors. Bye-bye now.